I feel like every time I get in a call with you and there's a recording involved, you say something about that. It's like I'll cut this out. I'll cut that out.
Yeah.
It's like it's inescapable.
Well, it's a little bit of a reminder for myself.
If I was in a Mega Man game, he would be Cutman.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's going in the beginning of the video.
Nice.
Pinus
Yes.
Liker has cut. Oh,
Cut
dude,
man.
dude. Pinus Liker has cut man. He's cutting a pie. I hate you, pies.
He wants a slice of the action.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next Success Cast. And here we got the 4th episode. And not only is it with me and Brony Monster, but
Heyo.
we have Luffy.
We
Hello.
may have, yeah, we may have abducted Luffy from wherever he once came from in order to do this. So, don't get mad at us, but yeah, we kind of did it.
Who's
kinda-
going
we
to
kinda
feed
stole.
the dog?
Dog will feed
what
itself.
what was the name of that person that we left behind in order to take care of that?
Oh, well, I suppose the dog can eat him.
Dark.
Oh yeah, very dark.
No, it's a dog.
No, no, never mind.
Yeah, we're gonna try not to go overboard with rambling because we're on a much more limited time constraint. I got an hour till I gotta leave for school, so yeah, we're gonna just talk about a few general things involving video editing. That's the theme of this one. I think I said that before, but if not, then
Eat it.
there you go again. Yeah. So I've done quite a bit of video editing, whether it's a random video. You can see like my 2014 montage if you want to get an idea of everything I've done. It's now posted as my channel trailer too.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I've done a lot of random stuff with video editing. How about you guys?
I mostly, if there's a piece of audio I think would go really good with ponies, I slap it around a bit and see if it actually goes over the top of it, like syncs up with it. And if I like it, I'll either save it for a shenanigans video or I'll upload it on its own.
Mainly the whole editing thing with me is just common reaction stuff, obviously, and then like whenever I did like gaming sessions and stuff, my recording sessions would go for like an hour and a half or even 2 hours long, and I would actually go through and cut them down and get rid of the unnecessary parts to make it around 35-40 minutes long, and I would have to make sure I'd be careful with doing it to make sure it didn't like have sudden jumps or anything like that. And then outside of that, the only other thing I would do would this it isn't on this channel, but like when I used to do YouTube before, I helped a couple of friends organize or edit their audio tracks together on a video in order to have like 6 or 7 audio tracks on one video.
Yeah, so we're all somewhat competent.
Yeah, we're not completely incompetent, but we're, well, I mean, I am.
Yeah. So
Of course.
Thanks, Luffy.
yeah. The best way to get good at video editing is to do it a lot, to practice as
Yeah,
much as you can.
I think what helps with me was since 2006, maybe, I made AMVs on my channel, making music videos with some anime, and that's sort of what helped me tighten up some editing skills before I switched to making PMVs, which then evolved into me filming reactions.
Yeah, because when it comes to making AMVs and stuff, like I never really made one myself, but like this is a common trend that I noticed whenever I used to watch those as a few years ago, was that you always like the song and stuff you picked for those. You always had to make sure that the clips actually matched the tone and the speed and stuff of the song that's going up.
Uh-huh.
And if you have like that clip that ends up being like really like high paced and the song is really slow at that time, you're kind of gonna look like an idiot. Like you got to make sure you get everything to line up there, and that's a good way in order to get practice onto there is to figure out what needs to go where and when it needs to go there.
Sometimes a clip that might be too fast or too slow for a certain part, if it doesn't make the lose its original focus, meaning, or how it fits, doesn't look unnatural, you can maybe slow it down or speed it up.
Yeah.
But in some cases,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've dabbled in PMVs as well. That's what I started working on before I did any of my reactions. I also did quite a bit of video editing just for fun with Windows Movie Maker back in the day before.
yes, I had
Yeah.
that as well. That's
Yeah.
what my AMVs were on.
Yeah.
God, Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, it's definitely good to start out with it, even though it's really bad, just because
One good thing is
it'll-
that it's free.
yeah, it's free, and there's no risk really in practicing it. You can only go up from there.
Yeah, it's got timelines, it's got transitions, it's the perfect starter kit.
Yeah, I mean you're heavily limited on what you can do in there, but just to get started,
Simple
kind of
music
thing,
videos, it was
yeah.
all I needed.
Yeah, just to get started, it's something.
Put a clip,
Uh-huh.
an audio file, done.
Yeah, and then Luffy and I moved up to Sony Vegas, and Brony Monster used Cyberlink.
I use Power
right.
Director 12. Yes.
Power Direct.
Oh, that's what Atticus uses, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like the program. It renders things really fast.
Generally, I think the best thing about editing would be for people to try and branch out and do as many different things as possible. See what goes easy for you, and see what doesn't go easy, what doesn't work out so well. Don't be afraid of failing, because before you can succeed, you gotta fail.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Uh,
That's not
back
just
in
editing.
the
That's
day,
pretty much
I
everything.
Back in the day, I released a few fan dubs I did after school, like just me voicing over some characters in my own scenario. Years later, I look back on it and cringe and delete it, but it was still experience.
I think every YouTuber who has who originally did stuff years ago has that same experience where they look back on their older stuff and go, "Oh my god, this is horrible."
Well, it's worse when it's voice acting or just voices, because people don't like hearing recordings of themselves in general. So imagine years ago when you were in
Yeah.
school.
I do remember because I can do that. I on my old YouTube channel,
Yeah.
freaking had recordings of me commentating over a game from like 5 years ago or something like that, and I
I looked at
sounded
my-
like I was talking over a freaking radio.
I look at my first few commentaries even now, and I'm a dopey mother effer in his pajamas. Look like this is before the hat, before the presentation, before anything. I'm just there with my earphones in, looking really unprofessional.
Yeah. Gotta start somewhere.
You're a scruff. Put some proper clothes on.
Well, at least we learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't expect all the subscribers to come in. I think I started cleaning myself up. Oh shit! People are watching.
I gotta look all proper. Gotta get my freaking suit on and shit.
Yeah. I
Actually
think.
saw a person who did that once. He actually did a reaction with a suit and tie on. I was like, what?
A lot of people don't even suspect their first dose of subscribers. Usually they stick around under 100 or whatever, and they're just doing it trying to get good.
For the first 5 years of my YouTube channel, doing the AMVs and stuff, 300 subs maybe. But then you start doing reactions like 1,000. Why? What's happening? It's going up. What?
Yeah, it still surprises me.
It's apparently the YouTube hype right now is reactions. Beforehand, and well, it kind of is still the whole
I
YouTube
wanted
poop
to
thing.
do
but-
ponies anyway. I wanted to do reactions to the season 4 anyway, but I sort of did expect that this is kind of a bandwagon, but it works.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Pony fans will flock to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even expect my reactions to gain any sort of traffic, but it did. After all my other stuff that didn't gain any traffic, so okay, I'll keep doing it.
Mhm.
Because that's what the people want. They don't want effort. They just want reactions.
Okay, so I would have to redo my intro and stuff every time I get on there, and I would have to type out all of the text and stuff I would put during my afterthoughts every time I would get on there. And I realized how tedious that was. So what I did was I set that up at one point, and I saved that as a project file on itself. So every time I open up a reaction, every time I want to edit a reaction video, I just open that up, and it already has that stuff preset up there. So that's less stuff for me to work on. And all I have to do is do my normal edits and stuff for the reaction video, and I can just adjust how long the text at the end of the video shows up for and where it needs to go, and it speeds things up a bit. So just when you do editing, just try and, if you know that you're going to do something, try to save that in the editing program itself, so that way you don't have to keep doing it every time you get on there. It just saves time overall.
I usually do it the long way around. My previous project, I'll open it, delete everything except what I'm keeping, and save the file name as the new project, and work from there.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose it definitely has to relate to what it is that you're doing, because like if you're creating AMVs all the time, you're pretty much not going to be using the same song over and over again, and you're not going to be using the same clips from the same show over and over again. You're probably going to be expanding and trying to experiment with different shows and songs.
Mhm.
So
I don't
the
even.
thing that I do probably wouldn't apply to those.
I don't really do. I don't really do it that much. Mostly because I throw in so much extra editing into like my reactions and stuff that it's just easier for me to start from scratch and then import everything.
Well, like I said, I mean, I'm not keeping a whole lot in there as my preset. I'm just keeping the intro thing that I normally have in my episodes, and then just the text that goes on the outro.
Yeah.
And at the very least, if I ever have to change the text, all I have to do is just edit the text. I don't have to go and recreate the file and reposition and all that shit, because it's already there.
It would just be a hassle for me to delete everything individually.
Personal preferences.
Yeah, yeah.
Depending on if
Depends
that
on-
kind of thing would work
yeah.
for you, try it. If you like it, do it. If you don't, whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's my 50 cents.
Yeah, just try and figure out if it's for you, because it may save you a lot of time.
Mm.
Yeah. I still do use the Sony Vegas presets, which are extremely helpful for me. For a lot of the time, I just did everything in Scratch, but presets in particular, like where I place my camera footage, or where I place like the video I'm reacting to, or where I place like my credit videos that go in the little credits outro section. That's undoubtedly helpful.
Oh, yeah, that's another benefit that I have whenever I have my preset text at the end, is whenever I do my reactions, I always I always scale down my face cam to be just below the bottom of the text, so that way every reaction video, the camera is always the exact same size. So that way I don't have one, it's like drastically different in size compared to how it used to be beforehand, where that's what it was. In my old videos, my face cam was very different in size across them all, and I would go through and it's like, oh, it's this one, and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, the video was a lot smaller. It's like, what? But now I kind of have it all in the same area, so it's a lot, neater.
Just to prevent confusion, the presets I was talking about is a little different than what Brony Monster's talking
Yes,
about.
I know.
Yeah. the Sony Vegas of like official presets, what you can save, file size, location, etc. as.
Yeah.
That's not available in Power Director.
That he knows of.
That I know of.
Because he
It's a
doesn't use it.
conspiracy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's very, 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 very important to look up tutorials. Do not be afraid to do so. I know some tutorials are really boring, but it's definitely worth it.
Learning is boring. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I mean, really, in terms of tutorials, like, you just swallow your pride and just look up a tutorial on the program that you're using, it really doesn't hurt in order to get a little bit extra help on there.
Yeah, for the
Just-
longest time, I couldn't figure out why my PMVs at the time were all not slowed, but there was a clear after image because the frames were dragging. So I needed to hit disable resample, but I didn't know what the hell that was until I looked up a tutorial telling me how to get rid of the blur.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's so many different errors and problems that you're gonna run into when video editing. So, whatever it is, look up, Google it, YouTube, search it, anything you got to do. I've also particularly I like to study YTPMV tutorials. Those seem to be just the most helpful for me because they cover a lot of the more complicated stuff that I am interested in checking out or learning in Vegas. And though, man, YTPMVs are so complicated. They take so much effort. They
I do
are
appreciate
very underappreciated.
the process that goes behind making them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So some of the tutorials are often made by the YTPMVers because they're just experts at that stuff.
Yeah, and if you love what you do, spread it and share it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Like,
I've
comment,
been
subscribe.
yeah, I've been thinking about making like more specific tutorials, but I just haven't had the time to or dedication to do it.
A tutorial on how to be awesome. Buy yourself an Offspring beanie.
Oof.
Step to being awesome. Step 1, be awesome.
Mhm.
Step 2, watch the viewers flow.
And in general, try to learn as many different techniques as you can because you never know what you're gonna end up wanting to be using in the future. It's better to learn more information than you need than to not know enough.
Yeah, similar with food, it's best to have too much than not enough. 'Cause I'd rather be full than still want to eat something. So you're
I hate
not
to be the
satisfied.
asshole to say this, but I would actually disagree with that.
Well,
Well, I'm a
If you're so
glutton,
full that you can't walk, then you're fucked.
Well, if someone eats to that point, they're an idiot.
that's why you need to get
I'm
a
talking about
to-go
general
box.
satisfaction, full
Ye-
stomach after a Sunday roast.
Yeah, just get a to-go box. Swallow your pride.
To-go meals, the future of eating.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else you guys wanted to cover with tutorials or?
I don't know, Luke, do you have anything
aside
else to
from
talk
the
about food?
resample thing, I've never had to look anything up, but obviously if you're a beginner, then they're an invaluable source of information that you really should take the care to look at.
Yeah, I don't even watch like the I don't even look at like the official help bar that comes with software. I
I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever used that on any program.
yeah, it's just funny because like when learning like Adobe InDesign with in school because it's graphic design's like one of the things that I learned in school. The teacher suggested that we use the help bar when I was like, no, I never. But it's a possibility. But I just rather Google everything.
Yeah, in quote marks, how do I do this? How to do this? Like, there's 1,000 articles.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's generally been a lot faster for me, but figure out whatever works best for you. Okay. Next up on the list is file formats. This is not exactly talking about rendering, but it's talking more about like importing footage and what you may want to save files as if you have a choice or whatever.
Vegas is so picky for me. I have to convert episodes when I react to them, otherwise it won't accept them.
I've had that problem in the past with my older computer, but now on my laptop, and since I've changed from Vegas 10 to Vegas 12, it's been a lot easier for me. It accepts MP4 and works with MP4 just fine, but before I had to convert everything to WMV.
On my previous computer, Vegas was so picky, it thought there were two different kinds of MP4 based on which converter I used. It accepted one, but rejected the other. It's both MP4, you idiot!
Yeah.
I think it's trying to mess with you.
I had to use it through the specific converter just so it would work.
Also, with images, it's pretty important to know like the difference between what a JPEG does and what a PNG does. PNGs are much easier to use, especially if you want transparent backgrounds and
Yes,
vectors
that's
and
a
stuff
brilliant
like that.
feature of those, especially for forum avatars where they have transparency enabled.
Yeah, I've wanted to use transparency a lot, and it's generally very helpful. But yeah, transparent backgrounds. If you don't want a white box or a black box around the image you use, make sure that it's saving as a PNG. But yeah, I have my own little video converting software, which worked fine for me before, but like I had to reinstall it recently, and it gave, like, when I downloaded it, it also downloaded some other horrible software. Well,
Is it bloatware?
no, well, maybe, I don't know. It was weird. It was like that. It's like one of those things that changes your browser homepage from like Google to search now or whatever. It was horrible, and I had to figure out how to delete it. I used the control panel to get rid of it. Yeah. If you see anything that downloads Rocket Tab, delete that from your control panel immediately.
It's funny how innocently named things can be viruses, and sometimes scarily named things are harmless. I had Fruity Loop Studio by torrent a few years ago, and I had this other thing that came with it called Toxic Biohazard. Now that sounds very dangerous, but it was harmless apparently.
Oh.
Toxic Biohazard.
Talk about the master of disguise.
Yeah. But yeah, that the software that bundled with that thing was YTD Video Downloader, and unfortunately, it's the best one that I can use. I mean, after I deleted that, it's great. It converts all of my video files easily. It's what I've always used, especially like when I had to convert MP4 to WMV and stuff like that.
Yeah, mine's a free make video converter. It's the one with the yellow V for a logo. Yeah, that one's pretty fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember having to use like other stuff, like like vid to MP3 or whatever, and it was full of ads, and like 3 of them were fake downloads and whatever. It was it's garbage.
I used to have to use Real Converter, but eventually that started crashing for some reason, so I never used it again.
Anything you've had to do, Brony Monster, for like file conversion?
No, compared to you two, I got really lucky. I never had any kinds of issues with that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I guess in terms of like converts and stuff, the most I've had to do was use a YouTube to MP3 program, but that wasn't for editing videos. That was for burning a CD for us to listen to music to while we work out in the garage. But other than that, nothing really. I never really had to worry about that kind of stuff because I never had any compatibility problems.
Okay. We're doing pretty decent on time. But I think we'll move on to the next topic. This is a big one that I didn't have much value in until like the past year or so. Audio balancing.
Yeah, I remember your issues with that beforehand.
Yeah, I've had to fix some videos specifically because the audio wasn't balanced, and I had to like re-render and re-upload, and
Certain reaction like Jerry's video was like that too.
yes, it was.
If it wasn't for the fact that my old files were lost when my computer crashed and I lost everything, I would have remastered my first few Shenanigans videos by now because they had terrible audio balancing. Like, a bit of dialogue would happen at normal volume, and then the next skit would be completely song-based, but it would be at full blast.
Yeah.
Your ears start ringing.
This matters for reactions too, because if we can't hear your commentary above the video,
Yeah.
then
Yeah, luckily, before I started Season 4 with my reactions, I already had a few practice videos when I reacted to some Eddsworld flashes, and I was able to get the balancing right for commentaries with those before I started Season 4.
yeah, and
That little bit of practice made all the difference.
oh yeah, definitely. The same thing, vice versa. If your commentary is plenty loud and you can hear that, but you can barely hear the video, then
You
you're
got to make some
you're
adjustments.
screwed.
Fortunately, the viewing public don't seem to place so much ire in that because they've seen the episode before and they're mostly looking for what the person's saying. But yeah, there are some people that will get annoyed if they can't hear the episode as well.
Yeah,
You just got to find that right balance where the commentary is nice and clear, but it's not super loud compared to the video that you're reacting to.
pretty much.
Yeah, you just have to adjust your audio levels there and try and find the right medium between the two.
I get some good practice with the audio and like your voice audio balance it when I add background music to the moments where it's just me talking. Like I
Yeah.
get to just the level where you can hear what's going on with the background music, but it's not drowning me out.
Yeah, I've seen several YouTubers who do that kind of thing, and they do not lower the music enough. So they're like doing like a really emotional video or something like that, and they're talking about like their life or whatever, and all of a sudden like the music just picks up and you can't hear what the hell they're saying. It's like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty distracting.
Yeah. And there's also been times when like certain videos that like I reacted to and stuff, the initial video is just so loud at points that I actually had to go in editing and lower those scenes down by 26 decibels.
Wow.
Yeah, because the stuff was just so fucking loud.
My boosted volume timeline only goes up by like 9.8. Like, I can't imagine 20 something.
Yeah, mine goes up to 30, and the next option after 30 is infinite, which just completely mutes it. But yeah, I had to do that for like a couple of videos, but just like the videos and stuff that where I had to do it like to that much, I was just like, that's freaking ridiculous. And I knew before I even started editing it that I knew I was gonna have to do it because when I was listening to the video, I actually had to listen to it below the normal volume that I would normally listen to it because it was just like
Yeah. I've come across
For every commentary, I am always spoiled on the first 5 seconds, even though that doesn't show anything, but technically spoiled on 5 seconds because before recording, I hit play to check how loud it's coming out of my speakers.
Admittedly, I don't.
It's not going to blast at me.
Admittedly, I kind of wing it.
Yeah. Kind of like how
Well,
I'm
I don't
kind of
have to
like
do
how I'm
that
winging
anymore.
it now.
It used to be that I only recorded from my webcam, and that picked up my speakers as well, so it was easier for syncing how I only had to put the episode clip in because my voice and the episode's audio were already together on the webcam file.
However,
But now I record
clarity
with
on that-
Audacity for my voice track. I don't have to bother about the speakers anymore because I do add the episode's audio separately now.
Yeah, but the episode quality, like in terms of the audio, was definitely not as high as it could have been beforehand because you were having your camera pick up the audio.
Yeah, I mean, it was adequate, which is why I kept doing it. But the difference since switching to the microphone Audacity, it's been a tremendous step up.
Mm.
It's like, why wasn't I doing this sooner? Oh, right, I didn't have a decent quality microphone. That's why I had to wait for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I remember going back to some of my old videos with just switching from microphone to microphone because I didn't have a good one. They were looking back on them now. I almost want to delete them. That's
Yeah,
how
I
much I
know.
hate listening to it.
Yeah,
Blue Snowball's been pretty good. That's a good microphone.
some of my older shit on my old channel, just going back to that, it's like the stuff is just so old, and the fucking mics that I used back then were abysmal. And the only microphone that I ever used on that old channel that was at least somewhat decent was the microphone that came with Rock Band 2.
Oh yeah, I still have my Guitar Hero mic. I tried using that in one reaction, but it was just way too quiet for me to be able to use reliably, and I had to hold it. So
Yeah, it was tricky for me to do it because back then that was my microphone to use for when I was playing games and stuff. So what I did actually was I actually sat the microphone like in the collar of my shirt and just had it like sticking out a little bit, so I wouldn't have to hold it. I can hold the controller with both hands and still be able to talk just fine.
sounds
And-
like you looked ridiculous.
I
An-
probably did.
an
That's why I always
interesting-
recorded. That's why I always recorded when I was in the house by myself. But it worked until the microphone in one episode actually slid down my shirt in the middle of recording. So all you hear is thump, 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 thump.
An interesting tip I once said was someone said to avoid breathing noises being in a headset microphone, position the microphone just above your nose so it's not in the breathing line and it can still pick up your voice.
Mm.
Well, there you go.
It's been a while since I actually did a recording with a fucking headset mic.
Oh yeah.
Man, that was a long time ago. Nostalgia.
Mhm. Speaking of microphones, the next section is on hardware and software limitations.
Oh my gosh, you don't realize how limited you were until you move on to something better, similar
Yeah.
to Vegas and Movie Maker.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the moment I realized that it was worth getting a Blue Snowball was when I recorded my first fanfic reading. And my god, unlike my first Q&A, which was done entirely with the webcam, I wanted to keep listening to myself talk. It was so crisp.
It's like, oh my gosh, I can actually sound okay.
Oh, it was so good.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a similar deal with when you move on and stuff from your editing programs. Like we said earlier, like when you get started and stuff. Oh, get like your basic stuff done in Windows Media Center and stuff. Just to get Windows Movie Maker, excuse me, in order to get your practice done. And when you're ready to move on, you go to a different editing program. When I started doing my reactions down here, I used a program called VideoPad. And that thing I thought was pretty good. It was more advanced than Windows Movie Maker, but it was definitely nowhere near other programs like PowerDirector or Sony Vegas or anything like that. But it got the job done. But as I was making longer and longer videos and stuff, the program started to crash on me a lot, and I was really starting to get aggravated by that. And I ended up jumping from that to what I'm using now, which is PowerDirector 12, and just like how much easier it is to move my files around, get everything to be where it needs to be, and the fact that the thing doesn't fucking crash when I'm working on a file that's an hour and a half long, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like the difference between night and day.
Vegas
Yeah.
7 likes to crash, but that's
heard
when
of that.
you've got a lot going on the timeline.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Say, in a skit-based video like Shenanigans or something where there's loads and loads of different clips on there, all of a sudden you're getting the red screen of death which closes the program. Like, I can't...
Mhm.
Let me get in to clear the workspace, please. No, you're going to crash again. Okay. So, to properly render a long project, I have to copy and paste segments, 2-minute segments, into a new project and render each part separately, then slap them all together in another project.
Mhm.
That also reminds me. Sorry, PD. I'll just say this real quick.
Okay.
Is that this reminds me of something that's a really, really important thing for people to realize and make a practice out of when it comes to editing is save frequently. If you're
Yes.
working on a video that you know is going to take some time, like making an AMV, or you're editing a video that's an hour and a half long, save often. Because
Yes.
because if you do like an hour long video and you're halfway through it and that program crashes, everything you've done is gone unless your
Yes,
program has
every
that like
few
auto
successful-
saving.
Every
thing.
few successful click drags was always saved for me. So the crashes didn't annoy me as much as they would have otherwise, but
Yeah.
to deal with it every time, like, oh, gotta save, gotta save, gotta save, gotta save.
Yeah.
Some
it could
programs
crash at
have
any
an auto.
moment.
Yeah, some programs have an auto recovery system, but like you don't really want to rely on that. Like that's just like a super emergency thing, and so just
Auto
as you're working,
recovery is
just save.
weird. I manually saved, it crashed, yet the auto recovery had progress shorter than the saved version.
Why is that
Like-
weird?
Well, because I've already made a save before it crashed. Why is it not up to where I was at the save?
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying because like we can't control how that auto thing works. On there. That's
autosave.
why I say you don't want to rely on it.
Well, I think you technically can control it. I talked with Zabstrax a little bit, and he's done some messing with the auto-saving on software programs, so there probably is some adjustments you can make, but still, yeah, it's not nearly as
kinda like how
reliable.
you could adjust the Minecraft world auto save to save more frequently, or not, or like change how frequently it does it.
Maybe, it depends on
I
the...
don't think it's as
the
easy
product you're
as
using.
it is with Minecraft, but you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I've had so many issues. Originally, I didn't save that much until I started crashing, because I didn't want to have like too many project files undeleted and stuff like that, because I tend to not delete stuff. So then I get like an over
Running out of space.
yeah, I run out of space and stuff like that. So generally my rule is that for each type of video I have a different save file, and I call them like last react or last edit or last update, stuff like that. And it just makes it a whole lot easier for me space-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I've had quite a few hardware limitations, like with my laptop. I needed to get a laptop cooler because it kept overheating the fans on the bottom, and it did not work well enough. And
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah,
got
you're
the
really
laptop
limited.
cooler.
cause of death for every laptop I've ever had. They
Mhm.
always reach a point where they'll overheat and just go poop and
Yeah.
power themselves off.
Yep.
So yeah, the laptop cooler is a
And then I
lifesaver
get
for
told,
me.
oh, the
but
hard drive's fried. Wah, wah.
But unfortunately, it takes up a USB port, and I only have 3 USB ports, so I'm constantly like switching in and switching out different USB ports.
If you're on a laptop, though,
I need a
what do you-
splitter.
If you're on a laptop, though, what do you need all those USB ports, anyways?
Okay, I need one for my headset. I need one for my microphone. I need one for my laptop cooler. That's 3 already, and I use one for my mouse, which would be the 4th one if I
you don't-
had a
you
4th
don't use-
slot.
you don't use a trackpad or anything.
No. And I am forced to use a USB headset because my microphone and headphone jack broke on my laptop. I cannot use them.
Wait. PD, you have a Yeti too, don't you?
Yes, and that's a USB mic.
Why don't... Yeah, you don't have a pair of headphones that are a 3.5
Well,
jack? You can connect it to the
I
mic?
guess I could probably use it now, but I got the Yeti, like, after I started using USB headsets, and I'm just used to it. And plus, I really love this USB headset. It's wireless, so I don't have the fear of accidentally tugging on the wire and pulling something or breaking something, which I've done in the past, too. It's really bad.
I really love having a boom arm to hold the snowball in the air, like where it needs to be.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, also, recently I installed more RAM onto my laptop, so now it has 8 gigs of RAM instead of 4, and everything just runs so much faster. I don't have
I
any
can
memory
imagine.
issues. It's amazing.
You can do more stuff before your system gets clogged up.
Oh yeah. Before,
go
if I
fast.
had like even sometimes just rendering in Sony Vegas alone, I would have memory issues, and then it wouldn't be able to finish. But now I can now I can have like 4 or 5 different. Well, I don't know about 5, but at least 4 programs open at the same time, and I have no issues anymore. I'm so happy.
All of the projects.
Oh yeah. There's so many hardware upgrades that you need to do if you want to get good at making videos.
But that doesn't mean that you need to go and get all the best stuff in the world when you
No.
just start off making your channel or anything like
So I wonder
that.
if I could get
Yeah.
some good RAM upgrades for my Lenovo all-in-one PC.
Maybe.
So, I mean, it's good as it is, but if there was a way to make Vegas behave, it would probably be making the RAM bigger.
Mhm. Yeah, that might help you. I don't know.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you already have 8 gigs of RAM on there, I wouldn't advise
Because
getting
they
more.
say Vegas is like one of the biggest resource eaters a program can be. Like in Task Manager, it comes up on the memory or disk as over 700 meg.
Mhm.
Skype at the moment is only 164.
Yeah, let me open up Task Manager while I'm at it. Because I think generally when I had Vegas open, the memory was up to like 70-80%. It like just from having like Vegas and Google Chrome open. Like I had to close Skype if I wanted to render a video. That's how bad it was.
Hmm.
Yeah, but now I have like, geez, I got like 5 different programs open, and it's already, the memory is only at 41%. So I'm doing
I went
good.
ahead and opened up PowerDirect
Oh, I
12 on
see.
my end.
I've
and
just loaded up my system stats, and it says my RAM is 6 gig.
Okay. So
Well,
you
it's not- that's not
If
that's
I
not
made
terrible.
it 8,
That's not
Vegas
bad.
would behave.
six should be okay.
yeah.
The norm is like when it comes to like editing and like common computers nowadays, the norm is kind of like 8, but still 6 isn't bad.
So if I upgraded it to 8, do you think that might get Vegas to behave?
Maybe it depends.
I
You
don't
did
know.
also say that you're using Vegas 7. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't think adding 2 more gigs of RAM would actually make that big of an impact.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
I tried getting into later versions of Vegas, but they seemed even more picky with file types, and they crashed more often, bizarrely.
Anyways, I opened up Task Manager for my thing too, just so we have a little comparison on there. But I have PowerDirector 12 on or opened up with no tiles or no presets or anything like that open right now, and it's sitting right now at 230 megs.
Yeah, that's
So-
usually
so
what
that's-
a blank
so that's
project
just a little
is
bit
for me
higher.
in Vegas. But like the full one was like approaching 800.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not that much bigger than Skype is right now, and the fact that we're in a Skype call would make Skype, take out even more memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's really not bad. But then again, I have 8 gigs of RAM, so it's not that big of a deal for me. But I think we were on the hardware and software limitations
Yep.
for a fair amount of time there. So you want to go ahead and move on to our last little topic?
Oh, that's right. I forgot that I wrote that up because I didn't have it in my physical
Professionalism, ladies and
notes.
gentlemen.
That's
I
what I said earlier. Luffy stealing my jokes. Ah!
I have a notebook in front of me, and then I also wrote what we were going to talk about in the Skype log, and I had something extra written in the Skype log that I didn't write in my notebook, and I was just looking at my notebook, so I was like, oh.
Well, the extra thing that you didn't write in your notebook was the presets thing that I went over.
No, not just that, but the final topic, which is rendering and exporting. I forgot to write that in my notebook.
I was gonna say because it was on your list before you changed it.
Yeah, I
Forgot to write.
added it in without thinking.
Yeah, rendering itself seems to demand a lot because I noticed my computer fans whir up really loudly when it's
Yeah.
rendering.
hmm
Hmm.
Rendering and playing like high end games and stuff like that. That's the things that really make your computer work a lot.
Oh yeah, playing, playing a Steam game, even with my laptop cooler on, still overheats my laptop. That's how
Yeah.
bad it is. But at least with rendering, I can render properly.
I killed one of my old laptops by making the dreadful mistake of trying to install and play World of Warcraft with my friends on a crappy little laptop. And think of the demand and stress that put on my crappy little laptop, and it overheated so badly.
Yeah, I actually made a stupid mistake, sort of like that myself, with the computer I'm using right now. Actually, was I was actually in the middle of exporting a video that I just finished editing, and someone on Skype asked me to join them in playing a game on Steam, and I ended up playing. I think it was Killing Floor at that point. Anyways, I was playing a game with them in a Skype call while it was still rendering the video, and my computer suddenly shut off and
Oh, great.
found out that when I had changed the computer case recently, I had not set all the motherboard all the way down. So, like one of the screws wasn't mounted all the way into there, so it wasn't seated properly. And apparently, what happened was that I was pushing the motherboard and stuff to use so much power that by the time it got to that particular port in order to use its maximum capability, it since it wasn't all the way down there, it wasn't making contact on there, so it forced the computer to shut itself off to prevent causing a fire.
Wow, that's something at least.
And I realized that a little bit afterwards because like I was like, okay, so my computer isn't turning back on. Like I was hitting the power button, it wasn't doing shit. So I was like, oh god, did I fry my motherboard? And I unmounted it and stuff and put it all back in. I made sure to get that one all the way in, and thankfully everything ended up working. And I since then I have told myself never play a Steam game while rendering a video.
Yeah, that sounds like a very bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, you might be able to get away with that stuff if you had a better setup than I did, or do, I guess, because I'm just using 8 gigs of RAM, that's 1600 megahertz, so it's like, very standard stuff, and I'm not using SSD or anything like that, but still, it's like, I wouldn't advise doing that, because do you really need to be playing a Steam game while you're rendering a video? I mean, can you really not find something else to do?
If you want to render and play a Steam game, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, I mean, like you can do it if you really want to. Just don't blame me if something bad happens.
Hmm. Um. Oh shoot! What was I gonna say?
Probably something to do with rendering or exporting.
Yes, yes, it was. Oh yeah. Also, you might want to do some research and try and find out your best rendering settings as possible. Uh, I remember going for years with like really long rendering time, but then a couple of months ago I looked up. Okay, you know what are the best rendering settings that I can have without being able to use a GPU for rendering? And then I looked it up, and okay, just do this, and this. I've probably got the video like saved in my likes or possibly in a playlist somewhere. I don't know. No, wait. Actually, I remember I made a video directing that video because I just really liked it. I wanted to show
were
it to other
promoting it.
people in case they used it. Yeah, because it like sped up my rendering speed times 3.
Oh, I think I remember what video you're talking about. I think
Yeah.
I remember seeing that on your freaking likes list. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm loading up now, trying to see what my default render settings are.
Mhm.
Windows Media Video V9 WMV, 4.8 megabytes per second HD, 720 24p video.
Mm.
Yeah. Generally, WMV is like the faster format if you want to upload quicker, because comparing WMV and MP4, WMV is a lot smaller.
Yeah, they make small file sizes.
Yeah, but if I wanted to do a specific amount of settings for rendering, I would only have those options available in MP4, so I had to switch over to MP4 for my rendering, which means that my upload speed is a little longer, but it's still worth it compared to the amount of time that I spend rendering.
I've tried saving in AVI and MP4 before, but for some reason Vegas changes the aspect ratio of it and gives me black bars, but it doesn't do that for WMV.
That's
I would not
very
recommend.
strange.
I would not recommend anybody to use AVI because the files that you get with them are just so damn enormous. Because AVI, when you render it, is the file format where it tries not to lose any quality whatsoever, and so you get like this big ass files. And
Mhm.
Well, guess
you can-
what the most
it's
commonly
really annoying.
requested file type is for the anthology team, which drove me so crazy. AVI.
What?
Because they
Like,
want the
like,
best quality
Thank
stuff.
goodness someone got Mysterious Animator X to listen. Like, can we do MP4 as well, please?
Oh, oh god,
I
that
don't
would
know, maybe-
that would
maybe
have to be a
whoever was-
nightmare.
Maybe that person, whoever was doing it, only thought that their editing program could only handle AVI, and then after being told that numerous times to possibly allow MP4 or
It
whatever,
was mainly
that it was
because
allowed
we
to
were
work.
using a codec that was mostly compatible with AVI's, that Lagarith lossless codec.
Yeah, so pretty much what I said. Yeah.
Ugh.
They wanted us to all use the same frame rate of 23.97 or something and everything. Like, it needs to be consistent.
I would die. I would die if I had to render in AVI. There's just no way.
Yeah, there was some weird bars across the screen as well. Like, not like black bars around the edge. There was like when something's on an old TV and
Yeah.
you can see the lines going up and down. There was something like that on it.
Oh, it's kind of like when you record a television with like a hand camera or something like that.
Yes. Yes, it put that on the video for some reason.
That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
So AVIs can suck it.
Well, I already said that I don't recommend anybody use AVI, so there you go. Luffy's just agreeing with me. at
Yeah.
this point.
Again, using black bars, you want to make sure that you download the right aspect ratio videos. I tend to download episode videos on Mysterious Brony's Dailymotion account, which is, I think it's now called Astrum Spark,
Yes, it is.
and yeah, that's been undoubtedly helpful.
If a video is not quite to the project settings, you can right-click it and uncheck the box that says scale to fit, and it will then make itself the project size.
Yeah.
And keep in mind though that finding it may be a little bit differently for you because various editing programs are a little bit different.
Oh yes, very sorry people listening. I'm talking like everyone's got Vegas, which is naughty of it.
Vegas is still one of the more common used ones in the YouTube
That's
community.
because
at
so many
least.
people just get the freaking cracked versions.
Yes.
Yes,
Assholes,
because
right?
they're very
I think I'm
expensive.
I think I'm one of the 1% people who actually go and pay for their editing program.
The only program I've legally bought in the last 5 years or so is Fruity Loop Studio 11.
I bought both VideoPad and Power Director.
There are generally a lot of free programs that are still available if people can't afford or
Yeah.
don't know how
I mean,
to...
they have their limitations too, just like Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
But like, it's still there actually are some free ones out
Yeah.
there that allow you to do like multiple input sources. and
Yeah,
stuff,
like
help.
Lightworks is an example.
Yeah.
I haven't ever used Lightworks, but I didn't discover it until like a year ago maybe. It's probably the only bilinear, or I don't know, what's it called? Non-linear, not bilinear. Non-linear editing software that's available for free. The catch
And
is
bi,
is
I
that
mean non-sexual.
I don't remember. I can't remember what it's called, but a while back I saw that there was apparently some editing program out there that's free for Linux users. That's actually like really solid. But
Maybe.
I can't remember what it's called.
If, for the longest time, I've known that Linux is a thing, but I've never seen anyone with it.
If
To
you
me, it's
wait
just an
about
image of a
a month,
penguin.
I will have it for you.
It's just an image of a penguin in my mind because I've never seen a Linux system.
Yeah, that's the Linux system. It's just a penguin.
Yeah, I'm building a spare computer that's gonna be running off of.
You're building a penguin?
No, jackass.
Does it run on fish?
You just go ahead and waddle off the plank.
Okay. We are getting very short on time. So is there anything
Well,
else
we
you
did.
guys want to talk about?
We did kind of get everything off that list. So that's good.
Okay. Do we have
Yeah,
like
I'm
any?
just happy I was able to render my latest video before I came here. Like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vegas, for helping Luffy out.
Thank you for throwing me a bone.
Okay. Any last words?
What are you gonna try and kill
I
us?
am all of your fathers.
You said any
Beautiful.
last words? Are you trying to kill us?
Yes.
I'm
I'm Cutman.
Never
I'm not
find
good
where
at
they
these
buried
pressure
it.
situations.
I'm Cutman. I'm trying to cut you. I'll cut
No!
He's gonna cut us down to size.
you. Okay.
I'm at me, bro.
This has been Pitus Liker.
Running Boss
Good
44.
for your school.
And thank you all for watching, and hope to see you in another video.
We're professional.
Bye.